Alright, so, let's talk about Symbiote Spider-Man 2099. This was another book sent to me by my friend Chris. Chris, thank you once again for this comic as well as others. And yeah, so let's dive right into another chapter in the Symbiote Spider-Man saga. So, Symbiote Spider-Man, for those who don't know, was a series of lost stories by Peter David and Greg Land. That were basically like the original stories that started these whole Lost Era comics. They were basically the first comics to really like be like, hey, these are stories that are, considered like lost eras, and I thought it'd be really cool to really like talk about it. Like, it started with Land and David's first Symbiote Spider-Man story, and they started these lost eras of classic writers coming back to write stories. I actually have another one that will be coming later on. And they're always fun to read because it's always cool to see, writers, these legendary writers come back to classic characters. And yeah, thankfully, I will tell you right now, Land is not part of this book, thank God. Yeah. Yeah, I fucking love it. I fucking enjoy this book, and I'm sorry I just paused there. I just this is what happens when you don't get a lot of sleep, people. This is the perfect example. So this comic is another chapter in the Symbiote Spider-Man storyline, but as you can tell, it's not Peter in the 80s. We've gone to the year 2099, and now we have Miguel getting his first symbiote. Because yeah, Miguel never got a symbiote. And this is the first time we get to see that. So yeah, let's dive right into it. Now, admittedly, I haven't read a lot of Spider-Man 2099. And in fact, I don't know how this ties in with what Steve Orlando's doing with the Spider-Man 2099, or the 2099 books he's been writing. In fact, it probably doesn't matter. But I haven't read a lot of 2099. Not because I don't like Miguel, it's just like, there isn't a lot of content to go on, and Marvel always seems to change whatever's going on with Miguel every so often, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It doesn't feel like it really fucking matters. But anyway, so this story takes place with Miguel, now head of Alchemax, and he's basically found out that one of his scientists have been creating symbiotes, and one of those symbiotes has bonded to Miguel, while at the same time his lost brother, Kron, his name's Kron Stone, the Venom of 2099, has returned after killing Punisher 2099. Yeah, he straight up fucking kills 2099 Punisher, and the two of them are now on a collision course. This also basically has this whole thing of like revealing that Kron was Miguel's brother, because the former head of Alchemax slept with his mother. It's a lot. There's a lot in here because I feel like Peter David, because again, David was the original writer for Spider-Man 2099, so I feel like he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm giving everyone a crash course in where we are, because this takes place after the somewhere after the events of Spider-Man 2099 issue 43. So I guess I can't remember if the series was canceled and that gives him the creative difference, the creative freedom, or if David is just like, fuck it, I'll do something different. I don't know if that's the case, but whatever. So I genuinely like this. As someone who's never read a lot of the Spider-Man 2099 books, this was genuinely a lot of fun. Again, it's Ro Antonio, the artist, is a massive step up from Greg Land. Absolute, like, a lot of the 2-page spreads are really fun to look at. There's a lot of great art. There's just such great artwork in here, like this just massive 2-page spread. Also, I'm just gonna say it. I'm like, just side note. I really do feel like Venom 2099. They had to have ripped off Violator, right? Like, it's not just me. Like, what is it? Like, look at this character and tell me. Like, I know Todd McFarlane co-created Venom, but like, look at the face and tell me it's not Violator, and the tongue. Like, tell me that's not straight up Violator. Like, yeah. So, Miguel gets this symbiote who's immediately malicious. The other thing is they don't really explain where these symbiotes are coming from, and they're already just kind of evil, whereas kind of weird because the symbiotes aren't necessarily... A lot of the symbiotes outside of, like, Carnage and a few others are never really technically evil. I guess in 2099, the symbiotes are just kind of like world conquerors, like they're, you know, like dear old Daddy Null. The story also has him, like, meeting Kron, and also it's a cool reference to all the other stuff, like Doctor Strange, 2099. We have a pretty simple story of, like, Miguel fighting for control against this symbiote that is now, like, trying to take over his life. For 5 issues, Peter David is really good at telling a 5-issue story. It's always really good to see, you know, David really play out these stories and not feel like he has to mad rush to the end, because that's always the fear you have with miniseries, is like just this mad rush to get to the end and nothing else. So I appreciate that. I will say though, Doctor Doom 2099 shows up in here and does the dumbest plan ever. Like, Strange goes to him when Miguel starts going nuts, and is like, "You gotta help." So Doom goes to Miguel's other brother, Gabriel, and says, "Hey, you gotta go save him," and then leaves. And I'm like, I mean, what happens next is kind of like, oh shit, that happened. But at the same time, I'm also like, why did we need Doom to do that to begin with? Like, you could have done that, you could have done what Doom did, and not even, like... Yeah, you could have totally done what plan Doom had, and it wouldn't have even mattered. Like, you couldn't even have Doom in here. I get that, like, Peter David is like, the 2099 toy box was kind of his original thing. So so I get that having Doctor Doom here, and again, we're really trying to hype up Doctor Doom for financial reasons, so I get why, like, having him here, but at the same time, I'm also like, you didn't need to be here, Doctor Doom 2099, you were just here for brand recognition. But yeah, the fights are really solid, there's a lot of fun, there's actually some solid jokes in here. I forget how quippy Peter David can be with dialogue, so it was really fun to see, there's like a few fun jokes in here too. And yeah, all in all, it's a fun story. The artwork is the best. I think this might be my second favorite of the Symbiote Spider-Man storylines, although my favorite is the King in Black tie-in, where it had Spider-Man like team up with Kang and all these other MCU characters. I was like, go watch Disney Plus. It was basically Disney Plus promotion, the comic. But it was a pretty fun story, so I might have to reread King in Black before I give judgment. But this is a solid second favorite of the Symbiote Spider-Man saga. The only one I haven't read yet is Alien Reality, which involves Hobgoblin and Doctor Strange. So maybe that one will be better, I don't know. All in all, if you love Spider-Man 2099 and want to read more stuff with Miguel, yeah, here you go. I highly recommend this. So, Chris, thank you once again for the comic. And if you guys tell me in the comments below, if you've read Symbiote Spider-Man 2099, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of it. Comment below, let me know. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.